These All Facts No Opinions 4 podcast. I'm your host, One Threat. We don't let none marinate. We get straight to the sauce. Everything saucy. Time to win. 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 I told y'all. Told you Tank coming. I told y'all Tank coming. Let's go. Tank in the building, baby. Full whole block. I'm talking 98 holes in an old rock. And never been in the city. Let's go. Come on, man. Link in the chat, link in the chat, link in the chat. You hear, T? Hey, we game all night. What up, what up, what up? Dog, what up, big dog? I mean, it's been a little bit right now. You know, bet, I appreciate it. You know, Monday, we had a little situation. You know how it is. We still up here, man. A little fake situation popped up here. But, you know, it's time to cook. We back. We told y'all. And I want to talk about this Gary Russell, Andy Hiroka situation. Y'all see all of these narratives. Yeah, we was on Mills. Yeah. yo, shout out Nair Albright. Shout out Mill City Boxing. Shout out my guy George, man. You know, Mill, good guy, man. Good brother, man. You know, it caught me off guard yesterday, though. Now, man, because, you know, I was taking care of something, and he hit that. I hit it. You know, I mean, like, hey, what's up? You know, but we're going to be on there more, you know, and stuff, guys, such a situation. But I asked Steve Fink to give me what the 147. He said, not right now. And I'm happy. I'm happy because 140, it ain't nothing but dogs down there. Junior welterweight ain't nothing but dogs down there. Y'all seen Saturday. Their whole card, besides the welterweight card, was majority all 140s. You know, but before we get into this Tank situation, I want to talk about, you know, the good brother, you know, Gary Antoine Russell. And I want to talk about Andy Hiroka, you know, true dog, you know. But people would tend to forget, man. Like the first half of the fight, Gary Russell was, you know, controlled everything. First half of the fight, you know, but the narrative you see and you hear out there is, oh, it's Gary Russell Jr. is ready. Oh, and we got some breaking news. Shout out my co-host Santos Boxing. But everybody's talking about this Teofimo post, you know, saying that everything was by design, that everything was WWE, everything was wrestling. You know, I'm gonna keep it tall, man. You know, I would have engaged into some bullshit like this, but bro, you got your ass whipped. When we was talking about this shit this whole time, you could have came out and stated, yeah, them boys over there at All Facts No Opinion Sport Podcast, the boys Santos Boxing, they was already on us about this. They was already talking about this. But now you want to come out and say something. Yeah, he's the new dark horse of that division. And I respect her for that. And we game all night, I respect her for that. You know, I respect, but the key thing is, you know, we broke it, we game up. Remember, we broke that shit. He was already here 3 days prior. So a lot of people was creating false narratives saying he only been here for 24 hours, but he already been here for 3 days. So the jet lag definitely went away. It shows that he's a 12-round fighter. He's a second half fighter. And the key thing is he just made sure he stood disciplined. First half of the fight, going into the 7th round, the first 6 rounds, you can do it 5-1. You feel me? But the second half, like from the 7th on up, Andy Hiroka started snatching rounds. But Gary Antoine still stole 2. The first 5 rounds, Gary got clearly. You know, from the 6 on up, all he had to do was steal 2 rounds. All he had to do was steal 2 rounds, and he did. You know? But at the end of the day, Andy Hiroka is a dangerous fight for a lot of fighters out there. Yeah, my apologies, y'all. I'm waiting on house arrest to come through and rechange my wiring. So if I get a phone call, be mindful. You know, oh, that's the trash truck. But yeah, man, Andy, I respect you, brother. Hey, Gary, I respect you, brother, because that night you had one of the toughest fights. If Hit would have got in with Oscar, then it would have been a whole situation. But speaking of Richardson Hitchison, the IBF just mandated Delgado. Richard Hitchison got 30 days. He got a trade ball. He got a Tracy. You know, so it looks like Oscar Duarte will not be getting that fight. But if in those 30 days, so by March, if Richardson Hitchens do not accept this mandatory challenge, he got to vacate the title. And hopefully we get Delgado and Oscar Duarte for the IBF title. But it looks like Oscar won't be circling back because right now he can't. He can't. They made that shit mando. It's mandatory for Hit to fight Delgado. So the Oscar ship has sailed. You know, so it's all about what Hit gonna do. Hit, you got the opportunity, the IBF happening. You can force to go up there at 147 and fight the winner out of Pyro and motherfucking what's the brother name? Lewis Crocker. You know, but it looked like we'll be getting another rematch if Liam wins. You know, and that's what it looked like might be happening. You know, but it's a lot going on right now with boxing behind the scenes. A lot of boxing news. Shout out to Timothy Brad. Listen, man. All Facts, No Opinion Sport Podcast. We've been talking about this whole time. This whole time we've been talking about a lot of BS that's going on in boxing. You know, my channel gets strikes for it. You know, we get warnings for it. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, come fuck with a brother, man. Come fuck with me. Come holler at me, man, because I stand on everything we stand on. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I'm just here to analyze and give y'all the game. You know, when I go to other brother channels, you know, I respect. Shout out, like I said, to Mill City. I was on there yesterday, you know, and I respected it because I ain't wanted to curse. I ain't want to see you not here that you really whooped his ass, you know. But you gotta understand when you go on certain platforms, your vocabulary gotta be tight. What I mean by that is you gotta know what to say out your mouth because you don't want to go ahead and damage somebody else's thing. You know, shout out Zad Judah, shout out to Corey Spinks. I was talking to Corey Spinks. I was talking to the brother shout out Mark. I was talking to Mark Nair Albright. I was up there, you know what I mean? Representing us. When I go up there, I represent us, this community. All Facts, No Opinion Sport Podcast, Santos Boxing, We Game All Night, Frontline, Herb Legend, Timmy T88. Shout out my guy Edwin, Round One Sports Talk. If we build in this community and I get up there, I'm holding us down. Even when I hop on other platforms, shout out my brother Mill, I hold everybody down because we building as one. Now, I mean, because we all we got. So long as one of us get to score a commutating job or an analyst job at one of these big platforms, salute. Thank you, my brother. Hey, great minds think alike. I just was about to say it and you texted. Salute. You know, because it's showing that we are on our way there. We on our way there. You know, I still do great numbers. They probably play with my vids. They probably play with my lives. But I smoke them in the show. I smoke. You know what I mean? And the world see that we get Zach for telling the truth. But y'all see the communism they bringing into boxing. Just they bringing it to sports. You know, and a lot of people need to understand. You know, I'm gonna keep it tall, man. Shout out Zoo for boxing. You know, they got a lot of people. And a lot of people like, well, you know, they got all of the PBC old fighters. Listen, at the end of the day, these brothers still got opportunities. At the end of the day, a lot of these brothers is still a heavy name for an up-and-coming person resume. You understand me? It takes two to tangle. You know, it takes two to tangle. But sometimes when you look at a C-level fighter, or he's C-level, but he never got the opportunity. And if when he did get the opportunity, they just put him in there, they become a journeyman. You understand me? And at the end of the day, these C-level fighters, 9 times out of 10, is B plus, A- fighters. Elite level type of fighters. But no, when we see a certain name, we're like, oh, he got all the losses, he just a journeyman, he this and that. When you get in the ring with it, watch he beat the dog shit out you when you get in the ring with it. You understand me? So, you know, shout out Zoo for boxing, shout out Dana, shout out TKO, shout out Ori, Ish, Nick Khan, Turkey, etc. You know, we still getting good fights. You know, shout out to Jahad Tucker got a match, if I'm not mistaken, this Friday. It's Friday coming up. You know, the top rank on the zone card. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna get the tank. But top rank ESPN gotta make it happen, Kevin. You've been missed. You've been missed. We missed y'all. We missed y'all. We need those fights. We missed y'all. Know what I mean? They back. Top rank back. Bob and I'm back. Let's go. Let's go. Boxing is getting great again. Let's go. Let's go. One of the top oldest promotions in the game. Shout out BA Bob Arum. It's only right, man. It's only right. Bob created multiple stars, man. Multiple stars. Shout out Bob. You know, I'm glad to see Top Rank back in the game. You know, they never went nowhere. They never left. But I'm happy to see Top Rank back in the game. I'm happy, you know, I'm just happy in general, you know. Even with grassroots club scenes, you know, we getting a lot of boxing, y'all. And at one time we wasn't. One time we wasn't. Now that we getting it, we don't know what to do with it. A lot of us want to complain. But right now, as I sit back, Monday I sat back, I said, man, what the fuck is I'm complaining for? What am I bitching about? Ain't none of these people paying. You feel me? So I'm going to give you the truth because the Most High told me to, but I'm still going to salute the brothers at the same time for putting on cards. We still getting relevant cards. It doesn't matter if we're not getting the big fights. We're getting relevant cards. Like, for instance, I watch a brother say it out his mouth. Only in America. Listen. I watch people say, right, if Keyshawn fight Devin Haney, it's just a big fight for America. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Besides Keyshawn, right? Let's take Keyshawn, Ryan Garcia out the way, right? So you mean to tell me Lewis Crocker versus Devin Haney is the biggest fight in boxing? So you got to fight a person from across seas to make it a big fight of the world? No, the fuck is not. Keyshawn versus Devin Haney is the biggest fight in boxing. Not America, globally. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is the big fight globally in boxing. This is the shit people got to stop. Because I know who y'all being paid by. This is the shit got to stop. If we get two of the top dogs, two of the top names to rumble, that's what we want to see. You know, now going on to this Tank shit, you know, a lot of people, you know, been speculating Tank this, Tank that. I told you Tank coming back. It's going to be a rematch. I'm predicting it now. I'm just predicting it, y'all. I'm predicting it. It's going to be a rematch. And the rematch, we got to see if it's going to be at 140. Because if we get the rematch, it's going to be between Pitbull and Lamont. I'm just saying, though, it's going to be between Pitbull or Lamont. But don't be surprised if Shakur would have still had that WBC at 135. He probably would have got that. No. But at the end of the day, Tank got some top guys. You know, if he's staying at 135, between 135 and 140. But Coach Calvin said that he got the comeback fight for the Tank. So they already got the opponent. The fight is already signed, you know, secretly, privately. And I do believe it might be a rematch, y'all. If I'm wrong, don't blame me. If I'm wrong, don't blame me, please. But I got a feeling it might be a rematch. But it's something great for boxing at the end of the day. It's something great for boxing. Let me go on to this little break right quick. You know, word around town, Tank back.
Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up. Dog hit me up. Hello? Shorty on my line, told the bitch to call back, cause she getting out of line. Louis, what's the deal? Nigga, we talk, got a 9 on a mission, nigga, watch we talk. Meet me on the block, tell me everything you know, from the guns to the chips and the kilos of coke. All I see is white, let my vision flash, got my hand on them birds, about 100 in cash. Nigga, what's the math? Said I'm rich forever. Ride a trap or die, got my mind on this cheddar. Wish a nigga would. If a nigga try, leave his brains on the step, laying next to his mind. Get it or die, that's the motivation. I tell it how it is, see the bullets penetration. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Dog hit me up, said he got lit. Bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Kick the door, hit the floor, homie. See this fall, homie? Leave your brains on the floor, homie. I want your bricks from my crib in the floor, homie. I'm talking dollars and them cents from my drawer, homie. Tie your bitch by the beat, I want it
That.
all, homie.
My apologies, y'all. My apologies. But let's finish where I left off at. Let's finish where I left off at. Tank Davis and his rematch. I believe it's going to be a rematch. I believe it's going to be between Pitbull or Lamont. A lot of us just think what Pitbull stated about Lamont after their fight, like 2-3 weeks after their fight. I'm gonna say like a week or two after their fight, saying he really don't want it because a certain person was running. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. A certain person really won. I thought Pitbull Cruz won. Lamont came on strong at the end, but the way how Lamont was fighting Cruz, it really wasn't one of his a great performance to say, oh, Lamont was doing this or Lamont was doing that. Like how Lamont did in the Tank fight. When you watch Lamont and Pitbull, was like watching Lamont and Jamel Herring. And Jamel Herring was the first person to floor Lamont. Jamel Herring was the first person to clip Lamont, and put him on his back pocket. I just want the world to know that because everybody was like, oh, Pitbull Cruz did it first. No, Jamel Herring did it. I'm just letting you know. And this was during the time Lamont was fighting at 140, 135, and 130. He just happened to win the title when he went down to 130 and beat Hector Garcia. When he fought Tank, it was a great fight. But we know the outcome of this fight. We know these people got histories. Just like with Ryan and Devin, it's going to be the same way with Lamont and Tank. It's going to be the same way with Lamont and Tank. But I'm just predicting right now that I got a feeling it's probably be Pitbull Cruz or Lamont Roach fighting Tank this summer. I'm just saying, though. I've been told y'all Tank was coming. I told y'all that Tank was coming. Hey, Raj, what up? I appreciate you. I always told people Tank was coming. Shout out to Coach Calvin. Shout out to the Rise podcast. Coach coming on, clarifying everything that I stated a couple of lives ago. And I'm great. One of the Face of Boxing is back, And there's a lot of Face of Boxing, y'all. And what I mean by that is every Saturday when this event being held, that's the Face of Boxing. Shout out Sunday, Clarissa, sold out venue. She the GOAT, man. She one of the best that ever do it. Female wise, shout out Layla, shout out to Christine Martin and stuff. Shout out Amanda Serrano, shout out Alicia Bumgarner, Mikkel Meyer, Katie Taylor, but Clarissa the GOAT, man. She putting asses in seats. Her, Amanda, Alicia, they selling out. But like I say, there is a Face of Boxing every week. But if Tank, one of the biggest stars, him and Canelo, yes. David Benavidez, yes. Ryan Garcia, yes. Why? Because you're going to get that bag from these guys. But by Coach Cal coming out stating that, they already have the opponent. They already have an opponent. You gotta look at it. Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach. Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach. That's how I look at the situation. And it'll be a great fight. It'll be a great fight. You know? But I love it, man. I love the game, man. Tank back, big rematch coming, big rematch coming, big rematch coming. Let's go. And I told y'all that. I told y'all that, man. I told you that boy was coming. I told you the real Debo was coming. When you hear that Tank coming, Tank coming, you ain't got the replica of the bootleg Debo. You understand me? Nigga, Tank coming. Told y'all that. Told y'all that. Tank coming. Top rank back. Let's go. Finalize that deal. Please, this week that deal need to be finalized. And hopefully we should hear some great news in the next week or two from ESPN and Top Rank that they're back. Let's go. Let's go. Ice water. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But hey, y'all see Tank the real he the real Debo. Tank coming. Tuck in your chain. Them niggas got good. Listen, hey, we game on that. You see how all of these niggas out partying like how the PBC fighters used to do? How Tank, Broner, Charlo, Deontay Wilder, they all used to be clubbing with Earl Spence, all these niggas. Bud was amongst them. That's why a lot of people thought Bud was going to sign with PBC. We all wanted that. We all wanted Bud to go to PBC. Back in 2018, when Bud was running around with them niggas, he was there. That's why I used to always see him and Earl running with each other. Always ran into each other. Always. Now they doing what these brothers did. But Tank back, that shit hurt. Listen, I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. There's no other fight. Listen, for Devin Haney, listen, Tank Ryan, ask Dev who he rather fight. Tank or Ryan. Everybody won't pick Tank. Everybody. But Tank knew something that the world ain't knew. But what I'm about to say might be crazy, right? Devin Haney got a relationship with the Mayweathers like this before Tank got involved, before anybody. You see, when Tank got off that motherfucking jet and beat the dog shit out of Devin, then like 35 minutes later, the jet lag started to kick in, right? The world seen that. You seen how it was, you seen Floyd's face was like, nah, like, my dad brought Devin here. If Devin looked like me, he can resent. But he not Tank. Tank was whooping that boy ass. Tank was whooping that boy ass, man. Tank was whooping Dev's ass till that jet lag came in 35, 40 minutes later. And Floyd ended up going the Tank route. Floyd ended up going the Tank route. Remember, Devin Haney was there before Tank. Mayweather popped up to Shakur Olympic fight when he fought Robisi. And I always said if Floyd would have never showed up, Shakur probably would have got a gold. But he ended up losing. Then what happened? Mayweather didn't sign him to Mayweather Promotions. Because that's what if Shakur would have won that fight, he was going to sign Shakur to Mayweather Promotions. But he did. I'm letting y'all know, all of these brothers were there. They all was in the Mayweather gym. When AB and them niggas brought Tank around, that boy was different. They synced the dog. And this is the key thing I must remind all of y'all. Because everything I'm saying, you can go back all the way to ESU. Shout out Ellie Setback. He got all of the footage. Go look at 2014, 15, 16, 17. You want to see that footage. All the way to until Shakur turned pro. But shout out to Andre Ward who came in like, damn, bro, like, because I always said it. The reason Shakur lost that gold because Mayweather showed up. You know, and I want people thought I was tripping once I said that. I was like, damn, because one of my homies was like, yo, do you think Floyd like Jay-Z, you know how when Jay-Z got artists, let's say Beanie Siegel drop an album this week, next week, Jay-Z had dropped the blueprint, he don't let his artist shine. Do you think Floyd doing the same thing? Hey, a nigga can't read, of course he gonna do the same shit. He can't read. He can't read, crack. The nigga can't read. You know what I mean? And you can tell when a person can't read it. How you write his name? Because the person can't read, can't write. You know? But I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it tall. I'll pay The biggest fight in boxing, I will pay. Because in that 7 fight contract that Tank signed with Prime, Amazon Prime, remember that time, y'all? Mayweather was on that contract. You can go back. It was who? It was it Najee? Somebody was talking to Tank, and they were talking about the fights, the contract, and they started breaking down names. And Tank was like, Then when they mentioned Floyd's name, Tank was like, yeah, he on it. He on it. That's the biggest fight in boxing. That's the biggest fight in boxing. People are like, well, listen, I told y'all Floyd was coming back out of retirement, and he came. So he's going to try to break a big deal with the Pacquiao situation, which when you fought Pacquiao, it was 10 years later, bro. You know what I mean? And during the time when Floyd ain't wanted to fight Pacquiao because Pacquiao was dealing with Victor Conte. If the world know, man, I want y'all to know. I was alive. I was watching. We all was alive, but I was watching this shit. Now, I keep telling y'all, boxing, NFL, basketball, like playing. But watching, like my favorite sports was football and boxing. Basketball, I just knew how to play. Growing up was Dr. J, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Jordan. When AI came, he changed the game. When AI came, he changed the game. In Philadelphia, on the phone, before you had to dial, get your 10 digits. It was, let me get your 7 digits. Remember your 7 digits. Number 1 was for Marcus Camby. Number 2 was for Stephon Marbury. Number 3 was for Iverson. Everybody picked the Georgetown Warrior. A lot of people wanted Marcus Camby. A lot of people wanted Stephen, but AI, we got the worst person we wanted. And when AI came, he changed the game. Braids, baggy clothes, street attire, big chains, all platinum gold shit. You hear me? Braids, tattoos. Then you already know the crossover, baby. Bang, bang, the crossover. Next thing you know, Air One got invented. AI changed the game. And I'm just telling y'all, the reason I'm bringing that up because I watched all of this shit. It's like in 1998, when Floyd fought Hernandez and that glove touched the canvas. I got the DVD. And I'm going to go find this DVD just to play that clip. And y'all want to see, the referee didn't count. The referee did not count. And I used to win money off that. I used to bet, I bet Floyd got Floyd never got dropped. I show him that clip. Oh, but the referee ain't count. Doesn't matter. You said his glove. I betted you that his glove. You betted me that his glove never touched the canvas. That's what we betted, and I won. Pay me my motherfucking money. Know what I mean? But now when you look at it, you got AI lying doing a fucking 8 count. And it never was an 8 count. Go all the way back to 1998 when Floyd fought for that belt. I'm just letting the world know that's how great my memory is. Whenever like if I met you like 10 years ago, when I talked about our situation, like what I'm seeing right here, my vision go back to that day. The whole layout to the store where you sitting there, I'm visualizing where you sitting at now. That's how I visualize things. I go all the way back, man. But at that time, that referee didn't motherfucking count. The ref looked at this nigga, Bob Aaron, and you just watched that motherfucker shake his head. Just like I felt when Zab dropped Floyd. I want to know who did the referee look at. I want to know who the fuck did that referee look at. When he looked at him, the referee was like, and they didn't do that count. But as of right now, you got Floyd versus Pacquiao. And listen, y'all heard it here first because I told y'all Tank was coming like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a rematch. It might be Pitbull. It might be Lamont. We got to decide which one it's going to be. Because just hearing things, you don't hear too much. You don't hear Lamont in the media. Well, right now, it's us talking about Lamont. We don't hear Lamont in the media. And I believe, I cold-hearted believe it's going to be between Pitbull or Lamont Roach. We're going to get that rematch. It's the cook-up hour, baby. It's only right. It's the cook-up hour. Tank Lamont, Tank Pitbull is going to happen. But to be smart about a lot of things, just to grab the money back, Tank versus Pitbull should happen. Because you know how they go, all the black fighters and the Mexicans, they make the well, let that fight happen. If we can get that in June, Tank should get 2 rematches this year. We can get one in June, and we can get one in December. We can get Pitbull June. You get that victory, we can get Lamont in December. Get that victory, 2027. It should be Shakur. You know? But we got to see how all of this play out. Because, you got to remember Tank. Go ahead, nigga, tranquilizer. Now, I mean, shout out my guy, Tank Davis. If you look at it, well, he's the WBA champion recess. So, Kid Austin and Lucas Baghdadi is fighting for the vacant title, right? So if I was Tank, I'm saying though, like, he can force to listen. I'm gonna move up to 140, give me Gary Russell. And and certain fighters would be smart by taking that situation. You can be like, all right, he had this fight now. It's February. Well, we can do it for June, May, June. We can do this shit. Just to force a fighter just to get back in the ring, even though his outcome, you're supposed to rest, 30, 60 days, supposed to rest your body. Just like in sparring. If you get dropped in sparring, you're supposed to fall back for 60 days. Nah, man. I just want people to know a lot of things because a lot of these trainers don't know when you get in there, you're supposed to be working on something when you sparring, not you getting into a physical fight. The next thing you know, you in a true fight and you get dropped, then what? You're supposed to cancel the fight, push that shit a little back. Yo, I just got dropped. I need my 60 days. You know what I mean? So my chin can be cool. Because a lot of these brothers' chins ain't cool, especially they tanks. When you watch people engines, they get gassed out quick. That's why Andy Horoka grew on me. But a lot of people don't know. He could have got when he said he did those jet lag classes, I was making a bid out of it. But I want y'all people to understand, right? By him being here 3 days before the fight, which he came here on a Wednesday, I told y'all. And people like, oh, he came here on a Friday. No, he came here on a fucking Wednesday. So the 72 hours definitely helped. And what I mean by that, because the first day he got here, you rest. The second day, he could have went and got rid of the jet lag just by sparring. Doing light Cuban sparring and got rid of the jet lag. It's a cheat code, y'all. I just want y'all to understand certain cheat codes. Andy Horoka could have, when he came here Wednesday, which I told everybody, he already been here 3 days prior before the fight. You feel me? So by him just doing light Cuban sparring or having light sparring, he could have got rid of that jet lag. But the reason I'm bringing up Andy, because he's a 12-round fighter. That ball gas tank is on diesel. He's a 12-round fighter. And this is my oldest son, I tell you, I stay on his ass. Son, I don't care. It's about you being a 12-round fighter. It's about you lasting 36 minutes. It's about you having a tank. All of that boxing shit you can have, but it's all about can you do that for 12 fucking rounds? It's all about can you change the fight and dictate the fight? It's all about you. It's a ring. Control the ring. A technician, a ring general controls the ring. From the ropes, in the middle, on the out, you control the ring. And this is the key thing people always tend to forget. Y'all seen the WBC ring? Shout out the WBC, Ryan Barrett. That's the championship ring, bro. That's the ring Mayweather, Ali, all them big dogs fought at in that big ass ring. And every body sanctioned ring is a different size. I want people to learn this and understand this. Because when I was growing up in boxing, this is all of the stuff we learned in you. Louis. Get off that now. Turn that shit off. Messing up my life. My apologies, y'all. My apologies. How do you know? You know, I gotta go upstairs, slap box my kids, man. What's up with y'all? Y'all gotta do school, man. Y'all out here acting like Devin Haney and shit. I mean, my kids acting like Devin Haney and shit. Nah, we don't want that old back. We gonna take it as a man, and we on to the next. Know what I mean? But yeah, my oldest son here tell you, I always tell him it's all about your engine. It's all about your engine. You know, it's my fault. I should have went on break, but you know, when you're doing homeschool, you know, trying to teach your kids other things in life, and because I'm gonna be real, here in Philadelphia, the public school system fucked up. I mean, like kids out here ain't reading, they don't know shit. So that's why I just started homeschool with my children. So when I take breaks like this, that's just me switching a classroom, y'all. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? But yeah, man, you know, I ain't raising no Devin Haney's. Know what I mean? Yeah, I got the VR. My kids keep forgetting to bring it from my house. So when I get my passion Sunday, I'm gonna bring it my damn self. Now, man, I got the Oculus Quest 2 joint. I had that joint for like when it first came out. I had that shit for a while. We got a lot of games on that joint too. You know. Yeah, I keep hearing. I heard that joint crazy, but it's a good like you know how they got the regular boxing joint on there. I tried that shit. It's a good workout though. But I heard he got some better joints. But you was telling me, so hopefully, you know, when I go grab that joint, bring it in, you know, we gonna go ham on that joint. Ham and cheese, you hear me? Style for all, we gonna ham and cheese. You know? But yes, I always be on like this generation of fighters. I stay on a top because when I'm watching these kids in the amateurs, this is no lie, y'all. It's a 3-round fight, right? How going into the end of the first round, you gassed out? By the end of the first round, you gassed out. When you get to the gym, you ain't really working on no cardio. You're not working on nothing. But just hitting the bag, sparring, doing mitt work. That shit not gonna help you last 12 rounds. That's not gonna help you last 10 rounds. It's not gonna help you last 8. It's not gonna help you last 6. Because if you can't last one round and you getting gassed out, how the fuck you think you're gonna fight for 36 minutes? You want to be a 12-round fighter, a champion, you got to train your body to be a 12 round. You know? And shout out Sean Porter, shout out Gary Russell Jr. for breaking down what I always been saying, keeping everything compact. You know, and what I mean by that, y'all, is what I mean by that is, y'all, is a motherfucker like, you know how people do a 5K, they just run straight instead of like running the track. Because running the track, Sean Porter broke it down, like how your heart rate is, you know, from doing 100 to a 400 to a 800. And I'm talking about like dashes and shit. You know, you always keep everything compact. I call it compact. You know, you run around the check, you keep it compact. And the reason I state that, because when you in the ring, you in the box. You in the box. You feel me? So you're not running. I'm not running my 5K. I'm not running 3.1 miles straight. I'm running it around in a circle. I'm running around in a circle. So I'm imitating everything like I'm inside of a ring. You feel me? You know, because my gas, my engine ain't going to make me last like this. It's going to make me last like this. That's why I say basketball. Why? Because when you're playing basketball, you're only running 2 ring sizes. Like 2 WBC rings, that's like a basketball court. You put 2 of them together, right? So you're running up and down. So you're building your heart rate, but you're building your gas tank as well. You know what I mean? That's the key thing. You feel me? Kung Fu is life. It's everyday life. This is how I put Kung Fu. It's everyday life. Just like boxing. It's everyday life. But your engine, your tank is the key. If you can't last for 36 minutes, how the fuck why you want to box? 36 minutes is 12 rounds. It's 12 rounds. So the point I'm getting to is, if you're gassing out in the first 6 minutes, and that's only 2 rounds, how can you say you championship ready? How can you say you ready for the top people? When you watch half of these top people, what do they do? They gas out fast. Then you got a lot of these motherfuckers doing this P90X shit. Bro, you getting swole for what? You got all of these muscles for what? When you lift weights, you shrink your jab. You start getting T-Rex on. This shit start to go like this. You feel me? The key thing, man, is cardio, man. Cardio, cardio, cardio. But your engine is the number one thing in boxing once you get in that ring. Because nobody not worrying about your jabs. Nobody worried. Like, you know, you got to keep your head off the line, your feet off the line, etc. You know, when I fight, when I train people, I teach them 2 lines, right? Let's say this, right? You see how this line is? This line is for here, right? This line is for here. The move. You feel me? The move. The other line, the cross. You feel me? You put your foot on the line, you get it back. Now what I mean? I got my swivel line and I got my foot line. That's why I call it a cross. I'm moving this way, and this cross right here, I'm getting my foot off the line. Most coaches and trainers will only talk about either line. They'll talk about this line or they'll talk about this line. You feel me? Me, I'm bringing both lines. I'm teaching you both lines, how to get your head out the way and how to get your motherfucking feet off that line. You feel me? And this line right here that goes like this the line that a lot of Eastern Europeans follow. They'll throw the jab, boom, jab, boom, jab, boom. You feel me? Jab, boom, jab, boom. They getting their shit off the line. They getting it off the line. So every time they throw the jab and you coming, bam, they catching you with this. You feel me? But the key thing is they ain't got this. This the line. They not worried about this line. So they just boom. They only focus on this line. You feel me? Not the longitude. They focus on the latitude line. So they boom, 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 boom. You feel me? That's why they gonna always get caught with an overhand. But sometimes you gotta double up on your jab just to throw the overhand. Know what I mean? For a biffle, that's all you gotta do. For Shakur, I'm gonna break down 2 styles, right? When Gary Russell Jr., when Gary Antoine Russell was fighting Andy Hiroka was fighting long. He was fighting long. When you fight Shakur fight tall. There's a difference. When you fighting tall, you walk like this, but your back leg is bent slightly. This is how Shakur fight. Andy Hiroka fighting long. So he got his foot back some. This one he'll throw the jab, and you'll see him. He'll keep everything at a distance. Long. Shakur, when he fight tall, is boom, boom, boom. But he's not doing none of this. He's not throwing no combinations and no hooks and none of that shit. You know, a person just can beat you with a jab. You know, and Gary Russell Jr. Talked about, how the Shakur and Tio performance went. Now Tio coming out here saying that everything was rigged, everything was designed, everything was planned. I'm not believing none of that shit. You should have said that shit way before the fight. The world knew what was happening. But I'm not here to talk about it. You got your ass whipped. But I'm just informing certain people about certain lines. You know what I mean? Because when you go to a gym, people teach the same shit, but how they give it up is in a different way. That's like, for instance, all of us can read a book. A person can come here, give 10 of us a book. We all want to tell the narrative, the true story of the book, but it's going to be a different narrative. The story is going to be told in a different way. And, when you deal with trainers, this is what trainers teach you. Like, for instance, I always told my son, hey, son, you got to learn how to hit the arms. You got to learn how to do this and that. Probably like a year later, he comes to me, my coach teaching me how to jam the arm. Son, I've been telling you this shit. I've been telling you this shit since your first fucking amateur fight. Hit the arms. You fighting big people. Hit the arms. Your coach not telling you this, but there's a difference, And I've been learning I've been learning as I go too. Just watching him, like I already know. they can train, but they can't teach you how to cut weight. You know, and shout out KO Lewis. You know, that's my son trainer. You know, one of the top 10 heavyweights. You know, around Philadelphia and shit, in boxing and shit. But the key thing I tell my son is, because my son was trying to cut weight, and he called me. I said, eat some ice. But your coach don't know that. But then I remember, like, oh, I forgot. The nigga was a heavyweight boxer. He was a professional heavyweight. So heavyweights don't cut weight. You feel me? And then you got to look at the time when we was like when niggas be like, yo, Roberto Durant moved up all of these weight classes. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. He only moved up one weight class. When I was a kid, it was only 8 weight classes. You feel me? Welterweight, the welterweight class was 140, 147, 154. That was the welterweight class. So if he comes from 130, right, which is lightweight, right, that means he only went up one class. But when you bring in these 17 weight classes in the WBO 99-2000, then you go, oh, he moved. No, the fuck he didn't. At the time, Roberto Durant only moved up one class. Unless he moved to 160, that means he only moved up 2 weight classes. And boxing need to go back to 8 divisions, 8 weight classes, so we can get the fights we want. Because you walk around, weight was your weight. Once these 17 weight classes got invented in the 2000s and shit, you got niggas at 175 shrinking their body down. And then once they rehydrate, they become weight bullies. But the state and the body sanctions is not respecting their own rehydration clause. It's crazy how people talk shit about Tank and his rehydration clause, but you got niggas coming out in the fight, well, I need a rehydration clause. You never heard Tank come out and say that shit. Tank never put a rehydration clause. No, niggas respected the state. Go listen, fuck what I'm saying. Just go to every state in America and look up their rehydration clause in that state. 9 times out of 10 is gonna be between 15, 18, 21%. And then when you look at the body sanctions, they all have them. It's between 10 and 12. The IBF is just at 10, and they respect their rehydration clause. Why? Because a lot of people is really not fighting in their weight class. Devin Haney should be fighting at 160, 168. Ryan Garcia need to be fighting at 168, 175. All of these niggas do. But when you got these niggas shrinking their body down, of course you're going to get this. But when they rehydrate their body up, you got weight bullies. You got weight bullies. And another thing, since the 2000s came, not even the 2000s, bro, since VADA came in the game and Snack came in the game, now every fighter run around with doctors. Now every fighter run around with doctors. And what I mean by that is, if you motherfuckers knew when Victor Conte came home and he started running around in boxing, every fighter he was fucking with had him with a doctor. Mayweather used to take IV, what you was hiding. Bud took IV after every fight, what you was hiding. The key thing people need to understand is, why are there doctors in your training camp? Because if it's like that, you can go to every gym right now, there should be a doctor in there, right? You got niggas that turn pro right now, ain't none of them got a doctor. But once they become a Snack athlete, they got a doctor. You know? Shout out my co-host Santos Boxing. You know what I mean? We're gonna let him bring up the situation, you know, and expose. Yo, we got some heavy shit. Yo, the shit we got right here, you know, can break the internet. You know, this shit can break the internet, but it's all about what they let me break it. You know, because the shit we got for these people is so crazy, man. Y'all gonna be like, damn, y'all niggas did y'all research, y'all did y'all homework. Shout out my co-host Santos Boxing. You know, yeah, we went deep on this joint. Yeah, I don't like this. I'm gonna go right here. We went deep on this joint. You know, I'm down here waiting on motherfucking house arrest. You know what I mean? But my apologies, y'all. You know, And we did some great research on a certain situation, a certain entity, a certain fighter, and snap. Um, it's something real deep. And like I say, we can break the internet with this one, but it's all about, are they gonna let me break the internet? You know, fuck what I'm saying, just go back and look at it yourself. Like I said, I'm 42 years old. I've been watching this sport for a very long time. It's one of my favorite sports. You know, it don't matter what city, what country you in, what state. Sometimes you know your neighborhood. Once you open that motherfucking door and you walk out that door, and that first step you take to walk down those steps, you already fighting. You walk out your door. I know how Philadelphia. You walk out the door, niggas selling drugs all right there. You're fighting the drug dealers. They're fighting they cousins, they nephews, they whoever. Now I mean, Timmy T, what up? What up? Yeah, I was talking about Tank coming back, but right now I just was talking about people gas tanks in boxing. You know how these gas tanks it be ass these fighters. I was talking about a lot of amateur fighters too, especially a lot of pros. That when I'm in the amateurs and I'm watching these kids fight, and let's say they got a 3 round, 4 round fight, whatever. Um, I'm watching these kids get gassed out in the first round. Then when I watch certain fighters, I watch certain fighters get gassed out too. And I just was like, putting the bug in my son ear is, bro, you gotta become a 12 round fighter. You gotta like punching and all that shit is cool. You gotta get your cardio, your wind up. You gotta open your lungs to become that type of fighter. Do you want all the sanctioned bodies to have rehydrate? But hey, Timmy, supposedly everybody sanctioned has it, just like every state. Shout out Exodia Files. Exodia Files. I want y'all to go check them out. Is it Exodia Files or some shit like that? Go check them out. They broke down the Ryan and Devin Haney. Because these people that are the Zodiac Files, they a bunch of fucking lawyers. And these people fight like 15 and look good doing it. That's what I'm saying. When you look at these fighters now, they conditioning is butt cheeks. You know, 15 rounds, man. Listen, like I tell people, man, when I was growing up, man, it was all about lasting. And it's that these kids right now, Timmy, know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. It's kind of suspect. I'm gonna keep it fucking tall. I don't care. When a lot of these kids go to these gyms, a lot of these trainers is just worried about a check. Cause I seen it with my own fucking eyes. When I was a kid, we went to a gym, nigga, we couldn't touch that bag for 90 days, 120 days. They used to bring you got your book, you learn the rules. Oh, what's the rules? Nigga, we learning the same rules that the referees are learning. Cause you should know, in the amateurs, you should know, can a fighter call timeout? That's why when Tank took that motherfucking knee, I was the only motherfucker on YouTube streets, on these motherfucking YouTube streets saying, you are allowed to take a knee. Oh, no, the fuck you don't. He didn't hit him. He didn't land a punch. He took his 3 paces back, knelt on his left knee, raised his hand, and touched his head. Charlo was trying to do the same thing, but he couldn't touch his head. But he got touched. And shout out to Bruce Carrington, Shoo, who told Showbiz, you're allowed to take a knee. Oh, I never knew that. But bro, you commentate boxing. Now, fuck, you ain't knew that, and you commentate boxing. Shout out Gary Antoine Gary Russell Jr., who exposed it too. Yeah, you're allowed to take a knee. This is what the book is for. But these coaches, they just so money hungry. I tell, like, for instance, I'm gonna use my son for an example. Shout out K.O. Lewis, his coach, heavyweight, one of the top 10 heavyweights back then in Philadelphia, but he was fighting on HBO and shit. And I'm looking at my son like, damn, I gotta cut weight. Then I'm like, damn, your coach ain't tell you. But then I thought about it, like, damn, your coach was a heavyweight. So that I know of, and I'm gonna shoot from the hip on this one. If I'm wrong, Timmy, if I'm wrong, we game, let me know. But heavyweights don't cut weight. You got heavyweights, you got super heavy. Them niggas ain't cutting no weight. So he can't teach you how to cut weight if he never cut weight. You feel me? So I can give him tricks and trades. Yo, go eat some ice. Eat a bunch of ice. Go get a hot ass tub. Put your body in that motherfucker. Sit there for how long as you can. Now half hour. Eat ice while you at it. During the days, wake your body up. Take an ice bath or a cold shower. Wake your body up. But when you cutting weight, hit that water, put that hot water, eat ice gonna work, man. But at the end of the day, you gotta be disciplined in your dietary. You gotta be disciplined about what you consume in your body. Because everything you eat today, you ain't gonna shit out till 72 hours later. So everything you eat today ain't gonna put weight on you until like what 27, 30 hours later, 32 hours later. The food that you consume today is gonna add up in 36 hours, not right now. So, people gotta learn their body, you gotta learn your genetics, you gotta learn your family. You know what I mean? And I tell my son, your situation comes from your mom's side. Look, nigga, I'm cut up. Like, nigga, I'm cut the fuck up like a bag of dope. Know what I mean? With fatty in it. Know what I mean? But these coaches and trainers, and look, my son will tell you, he be like, my dad stay on my ass. When he be like, yeah, such and such training, my dad be like, send me a picture. Let me see how that nigga look. Oh, get the fuck away from him. How the fuck he gonna teach you something he look like that? Low key, this is where those scientists and nutritionists come into play. They really help. They do help. You must be serving cheese all fast because I see. Know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it be real though. You know what I mean? That shit be real, man. That shit be real. It be real out here, man. With these trainers, just taking money from certain parents and certain kids that that want to become championship fighters. But me, like I always, my son will tell you when I interview my son, he's going to tell you, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and tell you, right? A motherfucker is trying to teach you conditioning, right? And the nigga weigh like 400 pounds. What the fuck can he teach you? What can he teach you? You got a motherfucker that's 278. How can he teach you how to cut weight when the nigga big as shit? And he never cut weight the day of his life. What can he teach you? You feel me? What can he teach you? Certain heavyweight fighters, a lot of heavyweight fighters, when they turn coach, they can teach you how to punch. They can teach you certain things. But you, as a fighter, you got to learn what the initiate, what I mean is what to take to put to your arsenal and what to leave out. You only want certain chinks in your armor. You only want certain chinks in your armor. But the key thing is, when you get these trainers, it's all about taking from certain people. Like when you look at my community, right? You'll see me, my son, and rest in peace, my guy Mills and his son. Shout out Pivot Boxing. What Bill Haney just popped up there. Shout out Pivot Boxing. My son won the title over there. And the day he won the title, shout out GHB TV, shout out Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett was in his corner at the time. But it's all a big circle. When you can shout out the 365 Floor Fitness, shout out CS, shout out the whole gang down here. They got a team. But it's one brother there, I did a state bid with, and listen, I watched this motherfucker. My homie was a fat nigga. Know what I mean? And when I seen the nigga, he looked like Lou Ferrigno, no fucking lie. I'm like, damn nigga, how the fuck you just, know what I mean? Yo, son, what up? I'm like, damn nigga, you just was like a fat butterball ass nigga. Now you looking like Lou Ferrigno. So I told my son, I said, I know that nigga right there. Get with him. I did a bid with him. The nigga did like 13 years. That nigga gonna get you cut up. Shout out Mars, C-Mars guy, his father. I watched the brother, he turned my man into a beast. So when I see him in there and he not there no more, I'm like, damn, so you need him to get you your conditioning right, to get you down to where you want to get at, plus they fuck with. Shout out Malik Scott. Malik Scott love my son. Know what I mean? Yeah, hey, son, if you ain't working, I just need you to come on here and break that news with the doctor situation. When you get a chance. I've been telling people, man, we got something that'll break the motherfucking internet. You know what I mean? My guy, son, when he sent me that shit, I was like, oh my God. Now, because we was talking on the phone, we just was breaking certain situations down. But hey, son, this is what I need. We got to look into because I've been trying to find the Devin Haney one and see who was his DRs, And once we get into the Devin Haney, and long as one of them linked to that nigga, we gonna break it. But we've been saying about the T.O. situation. We've been saying that shit, son. We been said that. We been was on that topic talking that shit. You feel me? Now the world get to see like, yo, we tell the truth. This is the reason we get shadow banned. You know, y'all, the world, y'all seen it. Y'all just watch us have a bunch of motherfucking people on our lives. Then half of y'all watch us start getting zapped. No, but it's cool though. It's cool. Long as the word go out, that's all that count, man. It's like religion. Long as you got one person or two people that can hear it, it's all that counts. When you go out there, you got the church people in the streets. Long as one person hear it, it counts. Long as they talking the word of God, it doesn't mean what religion you in. The angels, they come and they wrap their wings around that person and let that person talk. Same way with the boxing guys. When All Facts and Santos talk that shit, the boxing guys, they bring the boxing gloves down and they wrap the boxing gloves in a ring around me and they protect me from y'all bitch ass niggas. And then y'all want to steal our content. Then a week, 2 later, y'all want to talk the shit we talking about. Yo, we've been talking about this nigga been a dictator for how long now? What? Timothy Bradley want to tell the truth? We've been saying Tio want to take a fucking dive for how long? Nigga, we even said Canelo was taking a fucking dive. And everything, WWE, baby. When Tio sat next to Nick Khan, Sean was like, it's rigged. The fix is in. I said, damn right. But it is what it is. You feel me? When a motherfucker can't make you a pay-per-view star, they're going to promise you certain accolades, bro. And the world think, you know, Bud should have been a pay-per-view star from Top Rank. But they only gave him 2 accolades. Then Turkey came and said, yo, well, Canelo got the Netflix deal, so I know, listen, world. Bud and Canelo couldn't do pay-per-view. Why? Because Canelo would have carried it. This is no disrespect. You know? And since he got the Netflix situation, all right, fuck it, we're going to go on there and we're going to make it do what it do. And it did numbers. You know, but it takes 2 to make a big pay-per-view event. Like Floyd and Pacquiao, it took 2. Ryan and Tank, it took 2. 2 big stars. They're going to make it happen. Like, for instance, like a Conor Ben and Ryan, the shit going to sell. Know what I mean? Even with that, you know, this is the rematch the world won. Besides Roach and Tank or Roach and Pitbull, which I told y'all Tank coming back. And, you know, ESPN and Top Rank back too, you know, it makes boxing more lit again. You know, but I want the world to know, shout out Zoo for boxing, you know, you're signing all of the D level, C level, B level fighters who could have been A level fighters, and some of them still got the opportunity to become a A level fighter. But it's all about how you push it. You know, I don't know too much about the UFC, you know, and the reason I don't, because once I see these brothers going there, they fighting how the way they fighting, and they not getting paid big bucks well, they get paid big bucks, you know. I don't really know they pay, but if a motherfucker ain't leaving out with 20 million to fight, you know, it's fucked up, you know. Yeah, toe to toe, what up? Yeah, Crawford don't sell. That's why I said with the situation with Muhammad Canelo, it couldn't been a pay-per-view situation because Canelo would have carried that shit. So that's why I'm just saying what I felt. That's why, you know, since Canelo already had the Canelo promotions and Netflix situation, just said, fuck it, we just might as well throw it on here. You know, and it did what it did. It still did good. You know, but I'm going to keep it tall. After that win, even with the Spence win, you know, if Bud would have got right back in that ring, like with Charlo, he could have stole that fight from Charlo. From Canelo, he could have stole that fight from Canelo. Because that's the fight people really wanted to see. Or he could have just defended his undisputed status and got like a Virgil or Boots or a Brian Norman. You know what I mean? Or Stanionis out of one of those guys when he became undisputed at the time. It would have been major for him, you know, because it would have took his level to a whole nother situation. You know what I mean by that is because Top Rank dropped the ball. He should have been a pay-per-view star. Top Rank dropped the ball. And, you know, you get a pay-per-view, you know, against motherfucking Spence, and you showed up and showed out. You know, and even with the Canelo thing, when he dropped, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you gonna do? Theo finna say, yeah, he is. That's why I'm not. Like, he crazy saying that dumb shit. Jump right back into the fight and trying to prove a point. I'm gonna be real. Theo better take the Cambosis fight. You gotta get your lick back. You gotta get your lick back. Just go over there and knock him out. Even though whatever Hit did or whatever just go, you gotta get your lick back. Because at the end of the day, I can see the Crocker situation, but hey, that's what I was mentioning about the Richard Hitchens. You know, Hit got 30 days. No, Delegado is his mandatory. The IBF said, fuck Oscar Duarte. You got 30 days to sign his contract for this mandatory. Go look it up, y'all. He got 30 fucking days. He don't got those 30 days, they're going to strip him. He going to vacate or he going to strip him. Frank Warren filed a lawsuit against Turkey and Dana White for one. Wow! Shout out Santos Boxing, breaking news, breaking news. Frank Warren filed a lawsuit against Turkey and Dana White for $1 billion. Let's go. And another thing, right? Eddie Hearn got shares in the zone, right? And Matchroom just renewed a contract. You know, this shit crazy. As I'm saying, all this in-house shit crazy. Nah, Crocker be a better fight. Cambosa, Jot. Nah, but listen, Crocker already got a fight. He fighting Liam Pyro. He fighting Liam Pyro, you know what I mean? That I know if he fighting Liam. You know what I mean? He fighting Liam and shit. That's why I say if I was what you call it, Hit, you know, I try to take the winner out of that, the top 10 highest pay-per-view fights. When Mike Tyson came out of prison and for Peter McNelly, that shit was crazy. I remember that shit. I was happy as shit for my nigga Tyson back. Peter McNelly was going crazy though. That didn't come out. I mean, Peter was going looking crazy. Look at the top 10. That's the only fight that was truly carried by a woman. Fact. Tyson definitely carried that shit. Tyson definitely carried that shit. Tyson definitely carried that shit. That Peter McNelly one, Timmy, that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I remember that joint like yesterday. Because Peter McNelly wasn't no fucking pay-per-view star. And Tyson coming home, damn, that's a big pay-per-view. That's a big ass pay-per-view. Tyson and McNelly, that's a damn. And I remember that shit like it was yesterday. I remember that fight. I remember that motherfucker fight. You know, cause yeah, but Tyson fought Holyfield, you know, I was mad as shit. Like, no, Holyfield, you supposed to fight Tyson before he went to fucking jail. You know what I mean? But Tyson was my guy, man. Tyson was he was different, yo. Boxing back then, that shit just it was different. Like it was true dogs. The best fought the best. It wasn't no complaining. Nah, man, you always see the robberies though, bad judging, all that shit. All right, bet. You know, like there was a lot of bad things, you know, in boxing back then going on. You know what I mean? But niggas kept that shit tall, man. We got the best fights. You know, there was only 8 weight divisions. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of fucking belts. You know, but once these other non-divisions came, you know, and the WBO came between 99 and 2000, it changed boxing. You know, we started getting these bullshit refs, these fucking judges like Steve Weisfeld, Dave, especially Dave Moretti and Floyd, Tim Cheatham. Nigga, I would never let a motherfucking nigga last name Cheatham judge any of my fights. Cheatham! Got Steve Weisfeld, Dave Moretti, Tim Cheatham. What's the motherfucker other guy name? Yeah, that Tyson fight was huge. Damn, I keep forgetting these brothers' name, man. Farhood, all them niggas, man. Because I just was breaking down the judges yesterday in the refs. You know, I broke down a lot of referees yesterday, you know. We even seen it with the Reese family. You know, from Jack Reese and them. You know, me and Sant was breaking that shit up on our phone call one time. It got to change. That's the only thing that really got to change, man. And CompuBox, you know, because the fights, the punches that's being thrown and landed, I don't know what the fuck these people want. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it'd be wrong. Like when you go back and watch Shakur versus De Los Santos won that fight. Hands down, he won that fight. He threw the most punches. He landed the most punches. And yeah, Jim was, you know, hey, Toto, you know. You know. You know what I mean? But like right now, it's like Harvey Dock. I had a problem with Harvey Dock. Well, Amari Jones, right? Amari, that's his name. Amari Jones. When he dropped the ball, right? When he dropped him, Kirk Stiller. When he dropped him, right? This motherfucker counted the 9. The guy's still on his knees. He did a 9 count, right? Instead of saying 10, the nigga helped Amari Jones' opponent up. Instead of saying 10 and calling off the fight, he said 9. Then he picked him up. You can fight again? Bro, you're supposed to stop the fight. You're supposed to stop the fight. Oh, I get it. You gambling. You gambling just like you fuck Ryan up. When Ryan dropped Dev in that 7th round and Dev hit his back pocket and he tried to get up and he fell face first, you were supposed to stop that fight. Then you did it again in the 11th. And then remember, the other 2 knockdowns, remember, you only counted 3, but you should have counted 2 more. You didn't count those. You know, Harvey Doc need to be questioned, y'all. I don't trust Harvey Doc. And the nigga hugging his ass, you know. You gotta it's a lot of bad judges out here, man. It's a lot of bad refs, you know. But right now, I'm just talking about these 2 refs in particular. Even Thomas, Thomas be suspect. You know, these referees shouldn't be able to gamble, yo. They shouldn't be able to know parlays. They shouldn't be able to do nothing. And if they gambling, they got to get out of boxing, man. Real rap, they got to get the fuck up out of boxing, man. But yeah, yo, thanks for everybody pulling up on me. You know, I did an hour. You know, always gotta come on here, give you the cook up hour. You know what I mean? It's only right. Tank back, no rematch. Pitbull, Lamont. We're about to find out in the next week or 2. Top Rank ESPN. Hopefully by Friday, no later than Monday. This will be the big topic in boxing. You know, Top Rank back. You know, TV deal, TV network, ESPN, boxing. It's only right. We need them. You know, shout out to Mayweather, you know, Mike Tyson, you know, CSI Sports. You know, anyone can apply to be a judge and referee. I be trying to look that up here in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, after their first one, it's supposed to be stopped. Facts, it's supposed to be stopped. You feel me, toe to toe? But you can tell half of these motherfucking refs, they gambling. They got parlays in on niggas. Know what I mean? But yeah, we game all night. I be trying that shit. I be trying. I'm trying to become a referee or a judge here in the state of Pennsylvania. Know what I mean? Um, I like to be a referee though. I love to be a referee so I can be in on the action because I know my shit. Know what I mean? I know my shit. You know, it's like you taking your license. Or you going to take your motherfucking your permit test. You know how to drive already. I know how to drive, so the test is easy to take. I'm a pass with flying colors. You know, but we got to do something with these wrestling judges, man. You know, and I'm gonna keep it tall, man. A lot of people that analyze and commentate boxing, a lot of us should be judges. You know, a lot of us should be refs. You know, and the reason I say that because we the ones that love the sport. We the ones that's talking about the shit. You know, but yeah, a shout out to everybody that pulled up. You know, my co-host at the PO building, he hit me up on the text, be about to, you know, break down certain situations. Hopefully, we might be back later on his channel so we can get y'all the news because we still dissecting this research. Now we on the Devin Haney situation and we about to break down certain things. You know, because we going into the folder snack. Shout out Deontay Wilder for exposing it, and shout out my co-host Santos Boxing for yo, this shit crazy. Like I say, man, leaves too much gray areas. That's a fact to me. Leaves too many gray areas. Too many gray areas. You know, I heard the rest from other sports like football and basketball are them lawyers. Wow. Wow. Toe to toe boxing said I heard Russ from other sports like football and basketball are them lawyers and judges, etc. Wow. Timmy T88 referees discretion leaves too many gray areas, which is true. We game all night said we need an AI judge. I'm gonna be real. An AI judge can be controllable. You know, just certain software. You know, we need something. We need some. And a lot of these judges, by y'all, what they should do too. How we wait on the when the 12th round over and we gotta wait if it's a mid. What type of decision it is. What they need to do is every first round, though they let the first round go, they click it whatever, and then they need to replay it while they sitting down. Have one, two judges replaying the whole situation. They should have a replay judges of backtracking that round. All right, y'all scored this. Well, we're gonna go back and check that round. All right, it was a little more. We're gonna add to whatever. So the world get to see it. That's why shout out me and my co-host. I watch the fight with the volume down. When we watch a fight, we watch it with the volume down. Then after the fight is over, we go back and watch it in 0.5 speed. Why are we watching at 0.5 speed? Because you're like, we just want to make sure all of the punches we seen that landed was thrown, we want to make sure that it landed in 0.5 speed. Because when you watching it with the mute and with the volume down, all the biased commentary is out the window. Now I mean, now your eyes is focused on who's winning the fight. When you watch Virgil fight Boachuk beat Virgil. He beat Virgil. Know what I mean? But he got robbed. Why? Because look who put on the card. Got robbed, man. Got robbed. Virgil lost that fight. He got robbed. But to each his own. You feel me? To each his own. But that's how we watch tape. Imagine AI taking Brock. Hey, Tim, AI taking bras is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That software, man, a malfunction. That shit'll be crazy, yo. All Bitcoin. AI tell the nigga pay me in Bitcoin. Yo, that shit'll be crazy. Yo, that'd be crazy. Yo, that's major. That'd be crazy, man. Yes, it would. That'd be crazy, man. But shout out Nair Albright, man. Nair, put on for the city, man. Be happy for Nair. Frank Martin was talking a lot of heavy shit. And a lot of people thought Frank was going to do his thing. Don't get me wrong. Frank looked as sharp, in certain parts of each round. But Nair's game plan was, and this is why I tell a lot of people, this is what sparring is for. The first round, you shouldn't figure out your opponent. You should go for the kill. And what I mean by don't go for the knockout, your game plan is to rough him up, do what you got to do, and that's your game plan. Go on there. Don't let him trying to figure you out. Don't let him download data. Always keep him on reset mode. So that first round, they think we're not figuring each other out. I'm pressing your ass from the rip. That should be an automatic rematch. I agree with you. Because you see Frank Martin told Tito Mercado, well, once I get rid of this one, me and you can fight. And that's a dangerous fight for Frank. Tito Mercado was a dangerous fight for Frank Martin. It's a very dangerous fight. Tito got popped. Nair got popped too, but he got some long ass arms. I don't know. I mean, we seen him go 12 Saturday. That shit. We seen him. We seen him. And like I say, it's always that second half of the fight. Frank, you get your problem in. We see a lot of people like that. That's why I be saying, when you watch, I'm gonna break like Ryan and Brian Norman. We know the first half of the fight, the Wu brothers is chinning. Yeah, I was dropping those shorts. I had to, But they chinny in the first half of the fight. So once they get their feet on the ground and start marching and pressing, then you start to see like a Devin Haney. I always say the second half of the fight, Devin Haney become chinny. And people are like, oh, you tripping. We seen it in the Brian Norman. I told you Brian Norman chinny in the first half, Devin Haney chinny in the second half. Who got dropped in the second round? Brian Norman. Devin Haney, once Brian Norman got his feet on the ground and started pressing, you seen Devin Haney started to clinch. Why he started to clinch? Because he wasn't trying to get knocked the fuck out or get knocked down. That's the key thing of clinching. To me, I'm just saying to me, if how I see it and observe it, everybody see it and analyze it and dissect it different. But when I see certain fighters, I know what type of fighters they are. That's why I be mad about a lot of these people gas tanks. I be mad at a lot of these people gas tanks. Like y'all, what I'm about to say is real. Like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is good for the first 6 rounds. After the 6th, going into the 7th, he basura. The nigga basura. He's trash. You know? Just watch it like a Frank Martin. No, he's good in the first half of the fight, but second half he's not. And when you seen him fight Tank, right? He was good, right? And Tank got him out of here second half. When you watch Caleb Plant, well, Benavidez, he was good in the first 6 rounds. Then Benavidez took control, 12-round fighter. But the Canelo, he looked good in the first 6 rounds, right? And Canelo, nope. It's all about the second half, man. It's all about your gas tank. And oh, they zapping me. Oh man, they zapping me. Dang, man. But you know, it is what it is, man. Thank y'all for the zap shit. Know what I mean? But we about to get up on out of here, man. Let me get my shout outs. Cause I'm waiting on these house arrest people, you know what I mean? They gotta put a new motherfucker wire in for me. You know what I mean? My joint keep turning red, nigga. You know what I mean? Bitch, I had to call them like, y'all got so shout out my PO, Miss Karen Thomas. Shout out the supervisor, you know, coming out, looking out for a brother. You know, change this wire for me. That's all it is. I'm gonna tell you this shit so real, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a real one, man. Look, I had the house arrest joint right here. That shit blew up. That shit blew up, so I had to move it. You know me, I was bitching like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? But let me give my shout outs to the gang, man, to the family that pulled up. You know what I mean? Shout out, we game all night. Shout out Reg 1. Shout out Timmy T88. Shout out you already know my co-host Santos Boxing. Shout out Toe to Toe Boxing. Shout out Frontline. Know what I mean? Shout out, know what I mean, Edwin Round One. Shout out my brother Mill City, my nigga Joe. Oh, he know, you know, I mean, shout out Mill. You know, we eating, baby. We building a community. But besides that, I'm up on out of here. I holler at y'all tomorrow, man. No, they already zapping at the king, man. But it is what it is. Dollar.